Live. We are live.
Hi.
According to the button. Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Poof, all of a sudden people pop on. Hello, hello. We got Karen and Kathy and Christine. Christine's first time today, I think. Patty's been with us before. Wendy, of course, and Nikki. Hello, Nikki. Our topic tonight is marriage in this world and the next, which was Kathy's idea, and she's not on here, hopefully. Well, you know what? Let me text her, because that would be hysterical if she missed this one.
That would be terrible. She
Yeah.
was disappointed the other night. Well, while you're doing that, let me just say that that's Karen. I'm Wendy. This is Immersion with Source. What we're going to do is chat for a few minutes, and then we're going to receive a Karen's going to step off screen, and we're going to receive a healing blessing from Source. And while that happens, you won't see her. As a matter of fact, Karen and I are the only ones that you can see on screen. And what we want you to do is just relax. You, whether you want to sit down or lie down, and just allow all the good feelings to come in. And some people feel a real subtle feeling. Some people feel things that are very intense. It's individual and it varies from week to week. So just allow what is to be, and come what may. And then afterwards, that lasts a few minutes, and then afterwards we'll talk with Source about marriage in this life and the afterlife.
Oh, actually, that's the whole life in the afterlife is one of my favorite.
I'm really interested to find out about that myself, so excited.
I think it's fascinating. Because really, I mean, we live for eternity, and we live here for, like 5 minutes. So, we get all bent out of shape about this 5-minute deal. I'm like, yeah, screw that. I want to know about the eternity thing.
Right.
That's much more exciting to me. I don't see. I texted her. Hopefully. Okay. Well, it's only 7:03. We usually go like 7:05. We'll start. So, y'all should have a chat bar thingy on the right side of your screen. Use that. Ask questions, make comments, ask any questions now before we start if this is your first time and we weren't clear in explaining what it is, because it is kind of hard to explain, but any questions that you have, please say them now. This platform rests on top of Google Hangouts, and there's a 1-minute delay. So what I am saying right now, you are not going to hear for 1 minute. So the chat, however, is in real time. So when you chat something, we'll see it and we'll answer, but you're not going to hear it for a minute later. So it's a little confusing both on our end and on your end, but just be aware of that. The contest is still going on. I'll pop that up later in the evening. Is Lisa coming on? Is joining us at all? Do you know? Or
she was trying, but I don't. She just said she was gonna try from her phone. So I don't know if she can do that from her phone.
And we have Wendy's little granddaughter with us today.
Yeah.
And somebody else? Who else we got?
I don't know. I thought I heard Lisa there for a second.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, because I saw that she had like a teddy bear or a doll or something. I thought.
Actually, she's got my phone, and she's trying very hard to look at pictures of herself.
Oh.
And Lisa's texting me, excuse me just a minute, baby girl. I need to look at this, okay?
Okay. Oh, here's a text. So, okay, I don't know what that means. Okay, we're on. Okay, I guess I should be on the chat screen. See if any. Hi. Yes.
Saying hi.
Okay. So this energy that comes through, I put myself in a space of connecting with Source, my guides, and all that, and this energy flows through and it goes out to you, which I know sounds strange because I'm sitting in my house and you're sitting in your house. But at the quantum level, there is no time or distance, so it doesn't matter that we're not in the same room. You will receive the energy. It'll flow through to you. You may feel it. You may not. You may be conscious of it. You may not. It may stir up emotional things. If you feel like crying or laughing or giggling or whatever, just let it flow through. If there's pain somewhere that it kind of triggers in your body, that's an indication that the energy is going to that part and working with it. So if you have the intent of allowing it and breathing through it, that's when the magic happens, when things start shifting. But if you resist and hold on, oh my God, that hurts, or oh my gosh, I don't want to cry, or whatever, then you're stopping it. So notice it and see where it takes you. You're sitting in your house, and I can't see you, so it's okay if you cry or laugh or whatever. Actually, I don't care. I'm happy to see it too. On our weekends, which our next retreat is this weekend, which I'm so excited.
Me too.
We have lots of emotions flying, and it's all good. And it's a beautiful how everybody supports one another. But it's how we shift. It's how we grow. So again, it'll happen the way it happens for you. And well, I'm thinking about it. Is 7 o'clock too early on a Wednesday? Because we kind of have a low attendance tonight, so I'm wondering maybe a weekday, maybe 8 o'clock would be better. I'd love to hear your feedback, what you think about the time. Sunday, 7 o'clock seems to be working, but maybe Wednesday we should try 8 o'clock. I don't know. Let me know what you think. And Wednesday is eventually going to be on the radio, so that'll be going out to, well, this goes out to anybody as well, but you'll still hear us on the internet, but it'll be over the radio. All right. Come on, Kathy. Almost home. Oh, okay, so I'm not going to wait for her to get home. That's, see? So there's somebody that maybe 7 o'clock does not work for her very well.
Yeah.
And again, this was our tonight's topic is marriage in this world and the next, which was her suggestion, so I know that she wants to be part of it. Here we go. I'm going to post on the screen some tips for receiving energy. The main thing is to relax and allow. Keeping the spine straight allows for flow, for the energy to move through you easier. You don't want to be clenching anything, so joints and muscles loose. Deep, slow, even breaths so that you're relaxed. Your jaw relaxed. You don't have to necessarily open your mouth, but relax that jaw. We have this tendency to clench our jaw. And your mind will do what it will do. So let it wander, let it do whatever it wants to do. Notice and allow. All right, so as Wendy said, I'm going to say a prayer, and then I'm going to go in and tap in and start flowing the energy to you. You will not see me during this time. I might say a thing or two. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Wendy's going to mute her phone or her microphone so that we don't accidentally hear something there. And then when we're done with that, we'll come back and we'll have our Q&A. Okay, so here we go.
I don't know what that is.
Lisa, put your mic on mute, please.
Okay.
All right, another minute or so. All right. We're back.
Well, Karen, that was a very interesting experience for me this time because I didn't have the luxury of just zoning into myself. You know, we offer this for people to sit with their family members, and I kind of wondered if that would be a distraction, and it definitely was, but still felt it and actually had a vision of like sparkling white lights just swirling all around my head. So the vision was actually kind of, or the distraction was kind of cool. It's like, wow, thanks for distracting me.
Well, maybe she tapped into that, you know.
I asked her if she could feel the power, and she said yes. So.
Oh, how precious. And she's what, 2, 3?
Yeah, two. Two.
Yeah, see? Yeah. And which reminds me, everybody, you know, this is, you know, have your pets there. Lisa's dog likes to participate, so have your family or friends over. There's no limit to it, or send the link to them if they don't want to come over. So, okay, so yeah, start chatting away. And there's lovely Lisa.
Hello, Lisa.
Quiet.
You know what? In
Actually,
my rush to get online, I was running around the house frantic, and the dog was frantic. As soon as we got into it, he is down on the floor down here like always, zoned out. And he
oh,
is he's ready to go. He's ready to transition. And this is the most calm he is when we are doing this on Sunday nights and on Wednesday nights. And he sleeps through the night.
oh, that's
Yeah, it's just,
beautiful.
oh, it is fabulous. Like you said, not only for humans and for, little family members, it's animals, pets, it's fabulous. I mean, just so relaxing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which it just occurred to me, we haven't really stated this, but you don't have to be breathing to participate in this immersion. On Sunday, remember I was like, or was it last? It was recently, one of the recent ones. I could see all these beings coming in. So call in your loved ones, even that aren't in body, and have them come and sit with you here and that.
I never thought about that. So can I bring like my father's ashes over?
Invite anybody.
Nice.
Invite anybody. So. Okay, Nikki says, I was tingling, and my son, who is 6 and very intuitive, ran in about halfway through, telling me he needed to hug me.
Aww.
Also curled up by me, touched me, and calmed down. Oh, that's so beautiful. Carol says she had muscle twitching all over. Yay! And I hope you went with it and let it happen. So... I hope so, and if not, you'll know next time. But it's a good thing. Whatever happens, it's all good. So as long as you're in a safe place, obviously sitting or laying or whatever, not driving, that would be. Sorry, nursing the baby, so I had free time to do this. So I'm a little. It's okay. I wish I had a little behind. Nursing the baby, yeah, bring the baby along. 8 would be fine. Okay, so somebody only one person commented about the 7 o'clock versus 8 o'clock. We were just having a debate with that. Maybe during the week 8 o'clock is better. It doesn't matter to me, either one. Let me think about it. Because when we do the radio show, it's going to be at 7 because it's 8 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
We probably just have to stay with this time.
Yeah, we have to leave it.
I don't know. Okay. All right. So, still no Kathy. Come on, Kathy.
You know what? I have a question. I would like to know. I would like to hear if anybody else has a comment to this. For the people that have been on it for a couple times, do they notice? My experience so far is that when my triggers in my daily life are met, I'm not so, agitated and quick to jump. I feel like I soothe through my triggers with less agitation, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if anybody else is having the same experience after going through a series of these as I have. I feel, like I said, when I get a trigger and it's a normal emotional trigger that hits me and that I have these reactions to, I am able to soothe through them and feel them and just allow it to pass. So I don't know if anybody's having some ongoing experiences as well.
Yeah. And that's, we probably haven't talked about that. I know I haven't. But continuing to get on each week. Not only is it your dose of getting a dose of this energy, but staying with it and getting on every week. And again, you can go on YouTube if you can't get on at the time. Go on YouTube. It won't be as intense, but you'll still get the energy. Tapping in, and then so it builds on itself each time. It's harder to build on something when you do it erratically. So if you're on this week, and then you skip a few weeks, and then you're on for 2 weeks, and then you skip them, it's harder to build. But if you have some consistency, I think that makes a difference. And the other thing, it was really clear to me tonight. Logically, this only makes sense. I don't know that I'd really thought about it before, but it was very apparent to me tonight that. Which this is very exciting because we've gotten so much positive feedback about what people are feeling and how it's affecting their lives, this energy channeling. I'm not anywhere near at capacity. So as I continue to grow and allow this to come through me, and I probably have to build the muscle as well so I don't explode, because I was so exhausted the first however many weeks we've been doing it. So as my capacity builds to allow even more through, then what you're receiving will be even more. So who knows where we'll end up?
How fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's like the building on. It's like the antibiotic. It keeps building, building, building. Keeps you strong. The
Yeah.
vitamins, not the antibiotics, are.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of antibiotics, but I get the analogy. Okay, so okay, marriage in this world and the next. Specific questions, or do you want me to just?
Well, you can
Oh,
just.
and don't forget. Wait. Just don't forget. There's somebody on Facebook posted some questions, so somebody could check that.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead. I interrupted you.
My question is, if we're married in the afterlife, do you have one husband or wife? Is it the same person forever?
Not always.
How long do the marriages last?
Same as here. Sometimes a day, sometimes your whole life.
Interesting.
So everything here is representation of something there. It's a shade of it. It's not. We don't feel it like a shadow. Like a shadow is a shadow of you, but it's not all of you. It's just a kind of representation, so you have an idea of what you look like. But the shadow doesn't really give you all the details. So everything here is a shade of something there. So marriage is here something very powerful, but that's only a shade of how powerful marriage is there. But again,
I'm sorry.
Marriage isn't entered into as lightly as it is here. That's, hold on. Yeah, it's not entered. So there's less divorce, if they call it divorce, whatever they call it there. There's less of marriages breaking up there because you don't enter into marriage as easily as you do here. Here, in retrospect, you look back and go, oh my goodness, I didn't notice this, and there was this about that person, and there was this about myself, and whatever, and you realize that there were signs that you didn't catch, but we're not trained really to look at that and to really explore that. So it feels like there, which is really here, but for conversation's sake. You're more, I don't want to say cautious, but it's more because you're much more aware of the vibration, of the frequency at which you're vibrating. If it's not in alignment, you're just not even going to think about it. Where here you marry somebody that's not in alignment with you all the time. That happens all the time. There you would be like, no, you're not a fit for me. Why would I even think about marrying you? Does that make sense?
I like that.
Okay. Do we have the same partner in the higher realms that we have here? Sometimes. So I have quite a few clients that we have met their partner that's there. Sometimes it is the same as their partner here, and sometimes not. I have a few people I've worked with that their partner here already left and then found somebody here for their partner, so the person that's here, to remarry and continue this earthly journey with the understanding and expectation that when that person leaves this earth, and they will be back with that person, with that other one, the first one. I've also seen where the partner is somebody that the person here has never met and will not meet until they get there, and because either they're not what we call human, so they haven't been on this earthly plane, or they already were here and they're long gone and whatever. What was the question? Yeah, no, so no, it's not always the same. It would be nice, but it's not always. Um,
Could
I
it be
have a
one of our
couple.
guides?
Huh?
Could it be one of our guides that are with us? Is that what you said?
It can be.
Okay.
Sometimes it is. Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of an interesting because there's that added component in there. So like sometimes, like so, say I'm working with you or whoever, and I'll see their guides or I'll see the information or whatever, and they'll be like, "There's something else going on here." Like the way this guide is, his attitude towards I'm like, that's kind of what's going. Oh, there's more
There's
going
more going
on
on
here
there.
than meets the eye, and so they have
Okay.
a vested interest,
Yeah.
And I was with a group of us went to what's that woods that's very haunted here in Chicago? I forget what it's called. Anyway, we went there to help some of the beings to, for help them to go on. And we worked with quite a few people, and that was lovely. I love doing that. That's one of my favorite parts of my job. I mean, I love all parts of my job, but for some reason, I just really get a kick out of working with ghosts, even though I don't like that term. Anyway, so we kind of had made the rounds and had helped, some people and quite a few people, and we were going by this one, and it was like an empty grave, or maybe the grave, I don't remember. There was kind of some overgrown grass there. It just was, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so I saw somebody there, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, you're not from here, and yet you need something from me. So as I started the process of, identifying what I needed to do for him, with him, at the same time I saw, oh my goodness, you're really interested in this one of the women that was in our group, and he was like, oh, she's so beautiful, and I'm like, oh, that's very sweet. And she had an illness, and he said we would never have that illness wherever he's from, and he could have told me where he's from. I wouldn't be able to translate it or understand it. So he said, I'm going to do what I need to do based on what you just, what he's like, I'm going to do the work that you give me, and then I'm going to come back. And he could have been gone for 1,000 years, but again, there's no time. So for our perspective, he came right back, and he's like, he was in love with her, and he's like, she's my partner. And she, of course, was like, what does he look like? Who is he? And it was very, very interesting how that happened. So, and again, he's not from here. And, he gave us a name for her to use, and I don't want to share too much more. But it was just beautiful. Did anybody else have
It took
any?
me a while, but oh no, Nikki's made a comment about that she feels like her husband have been together for a very long time, their energy. But it took me a while, but I found the questions on Facebook. Why are men and women made so different from each other? The whole Mars and Venus thing.
Look at the yin yang. How more different can black be from white? Is everybody familiar with the yin yang symbol? It's half black and half white, but they're not. It's like a paisley shape almost, and they meet each other. Black and white are total opposite, and yet they make a whole. And within the white portion, there's a center piece that's black, and within the black portion, there is a centerpiece that's white. That symbol says it all, really. The two pieces come together and create a whole. Would you really want to be with somebody exactly like you? If we were all, hold on, I'm getting an image that I don't understand. Hold on. What the heck? Okay. Yeah. It's different jobs, different roles, different capacities. And the something about the rolling together, about the working together, creates a whole nother energy beyond what the two are. And so that saying, 1 + 1 = 3 or whatever, so those, or 1 + 1 = 1. I mean, it creates the coming together creates a whole nother thing. If you were both the same, then how would you create something else? Does that make sense? Anybody?
Yes, I think that makes. I'm sorry,
You're
I'm
getting
muting
close.
myself
Getting
most of
hot.
the time. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, her mom's just running a little late tonight, but yeah, that made really good sense. As a matter of fact, I love the analogy of the yin and yang. I thought that was perfect. It
okay.
does, because yeah, we don't want to all be the same. The other part of the question that you had asked me to make a note of was the twin flame versus just the regular soulmate. Like, why would you want one versus the other? I always heard twin flames were like a relationship you didn't want.
Could you define what is a twin flame? What is the definition of a twin flame?
Well, a twin flame, to my understanding of it, is finding your other half. Like a like a like a to me, it's like a mirror. So I would think that would be a very difficult relationship because, like we were just talking about, why would you want somebody exactly like you? Does anybody have a different definition of it? That's just the way that I saw it. It's just like some people think of it as the perfect complement, but to me, it's the mirror image.
Okay, well, all right, let's take out the verbiage, because if everybody has their own interpretation of what twin flame means, and what was the other term, soulmate maybe?
Soulmate.
I think we all have our own interpretation of what those terms mean. So let's have the conversation without those terms, because I think that confuses the issue. So the concept of somebody that's just like you, to me, what I see from that is that you exist. You always have existed and always will exist. So this is you. You manifest here on Earth, and this is who you think you are. This is you. Ideally, what you want to do is align yourself with yourself and be who you are. So that is kind of like another flame or another being or whatever, but really it's you. It's not somebody else. It's you, that you think we don't understand who we are. And I speak from experience, because it is something that I am still working on. When I first was understanding, when Source was first telling me about my gifts and that I needed to get off my butt and do something, that I had gifts and I needed to use them, a message that kept coming from all these readers kept on saying to me, "You have to remember who you are." And I'd be like, "What are you talking about? I was born in Indiana. I know who I am." And they're like, "You have to remember who you are." I'm like, "What are you saying to me? What are you telling me? I don't understand. You have to remember. You have to remember." And or one woman, this one was amazing. That she's in California. A bunch of us. She was really expensive, so a bunch of us went in on an hour. We just got 15 minutes because we worked the whole hour. But in that 15 minutes, what she gave each of us was so amazing. But one of the things that she told me was, "You have a secret." Actually, Patty knows about that story. She's like, "You have a secret. You have to find out what your secret is." And it took me a long time. And actually, Patty reminded me recently, when I did finally find my secret, we went out to this great restaurant we have here. And I'm like, "I found my secret. I know what my secret is." I was still in shock because I'm like, "Oh my God." So that's a long way of saying that it's a process of learning who we are. And what we talked about on Sunday, about the new kids coming in with these new capacities, is to help us to understand that there's no separation from there to here. And so the more we understand that, the more that we can step into our spiritual selves and our real selves and who we really are. Anyway, so I guess that doesn't address the whole marriage thing. So a soulmate, to me, my tribe are my soulmates. The people that my soul connects to and vibrates with, that feed my soul, to me, those are soulmates. I don't know that a soulmate is a marriage partner. That would be kind of a different category. Or maybe, huh?
I absolutely agree with that because I perceive, you know, like I said, the tribe. I have so many soulmates, and that, you know, in the beginning on this path, I used to think I can't wait to find my soulmate. He's going to complete me. So my definition of soulmate, the divine flame, the complement, has evolved as I have evolved and as I have grown. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
I guess maybe there's different categories of soulmate. You know, like your soulmate, you have soulmates, maybe small s, and then you have a capital S soulmate that's your one, you know, special partner that
Yeah.
you may or may not actually marry in this earthly life, for a multitude of reasons, and it has nothing to do with good or bad or, you know, you screwed up or karma or whatever. It has to do with what you signed up for and what's the best for you to learn from, and not everybody is going to incarnate on this earthly plane. So maybe your partner is somebody who cannot and will not be coming to Earth, and yet you, for me, whoever, for whatever reason, has an assignment here on Earth, so you have to come without them. That doesn't mean you're not still married to them. That doesn't mean they're not still your partner. But you're, you know, like an astronaut has to go out into space, and he's gone for days and weeks. There's a guy, Kelly, he's going to Mars or something for a year, starting in a couple months. You know, so he's gone. His wife can't, like, hug him or anything, but they're married. I don't even know if this guy in particular is married. I was just using that as an example. So what was the question?
Well, what she asked, what it said on Facebook was, why are twin flame relationships so difficult versus soulmate relationships?
Well, again, see, that's where our problem is. What does that mean? I don't know what a twin flame I don't know what it means to her. Whoever posted that question, what does twin flame relationship mean to her?
Well,
is that person on the call tonight?
I'm looking.
Because if they are, it would be great if they could elaborate what that means to them. Then we can answer more specifically.
I don't see her. I don't see her on the call.
Okay. Carol says, my husband and I butt heads a lot on everything. It's exhausting, but he is my rock. I'm not sure why we are together because we are so different. When do differences signal you are with the wrong person, and when are they good? That's a very good question. Hold on. Let me see. I'd like to tap into you in particular, and then we'll go from there. Somebody's laughing. When I tap into your relationship, Carol, somebody's laughing. It feels like him. It feels like a male. It doesn't feel like it's you. Hold on. Like a real deep belly laugh. Joyful, not like, you know, making fun of somebody or anything. It's a joyful, vibrant, alive laugh. Hold on. It feels like, I don't want to say a game. It feels, well, although that would be kind of a good analogy. It feels like, you know, like when you play racquetball with somebody, you are working hard to beat that opponent, and you love it when you hit the ball and it bounces and hits them. It's funny, it's a challenge, so you're both working really hard to win the game, which means you have to oppose the other person. But yet it's a growing experience. It's a it strengthens the relationship, and that's really what it feels like for you, Carol. That it's like the dings strengthen the whole thing. And she had a second part of her question. Oh, signal when you're with the wrong person or the right person. Okay, hold on. Oh, it's immediately I got the gut feeling. So how does it make you feel? And you said that he is your rock, so that's how it makes you feel. You know that it's right. If you're with somebody and you just feel miserable and small and unseen and dishonored, it's not the right person. It's how you feel. It's okay to argue. I love to have a conversation with people that believe something entirely different from me, because I want to explore why do they think that way, and I'd love for them to be willing to hear why do I think the way that I think. And it doesn't mean that I have to change or they have to change, but it helps me to understand them, and hopefully it helps them to understand me, and maybe even somebody else down the road, if they meet somebody else that is as wacky as I am, they might be like, okay, maybe they're not crazy, maybe they just are a little different and they see things differently. So I love having arguments with people. Not the yelling, but the actual process of debating and discussing. Sorry, that was my phone. Normally I have somebody on the phone and she puts it on mute, but she left off the call after the healing part, so then my phone was free. Sorry. Carol says you are right. Awesome. Awesome, Carol. Okay. Nikki says, my husband and I often challenge each other, and it seems like it's a good thing. When someone feels as though they can be your grounding force and your reason to challenge the status quo, so to speak, that's a positive thing. Yeah. Any reason? Yes. It's a beautiful thing when you know that you can go out in the world and that person is there and is going to be there, regardless of what you do, whether you fall on your face, whether you're successful, whatever, that they're, I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it? To be supportive and grow together and not to be tangled up at the hip. That's a whole different thing. All right. So
I have a question.
Yes.
About marriage in the afterlife.
Uh-huh.
Is there sex?
Oh, yeah. Yes, very much. Like what I always say is there is sex, you know, but you know there's no wet spot. I mean that's the.
Well, you know, we're talking about marriage here, guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, if there's the process, there's the act of making love with somebody. You know, everything here represents something there, so you make love. But if you don't have physical stuff, then you know you don't have to worry about messes. Who knows? Maybe it's something else. But you know, again, the act of making love with somebody, and same thing. It's although this is something. Maybe I'll ask it now because I'm always like, if everything here represents something there, and you make love here, and you make love there, and you have a partner there, and that's who you make love with. But if everything here it represents something there, are there hookers in heaven? I'm gonna ask. Hold on, because I actually want to write a book with that title. Are there hookers in heaven?
Are there hookers in heaven?
Yes. Yes, there are.
There's hookers in heaven?
Yeah, I mean, I hopefully they're not standing on some dilapidated street corner with broken glass and, you know, but I got to tell you, though, that the vibration of that person and anybody that would frequent that is icky. Not somebody that I would, certainly not somebody you'd call your soulmate. I mean, for me, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be somebody that I would resonate with. That energy just feels, you know, not that you can't love somebody or, you know, or try to help somebody, but the energy, you know, it just feels kind of not comfortable. And it's not a judgment thing. I'm not talking about that either. You know, we all, here's the thing. What I understand, what my understanding of what God expects of me, that's what I need to live for and strive for and strive towards and live, whatever, you know what I'm saying. But that's between me and God. And that doesn't mean that that's what you understand you're to do, what your, you know, what your values are and what your relationship with God means. So I can't judge somebody that is doing that. It's between them and God.
Right.
It just doesn't feel like, and when I see somebody like that, I'm like, oh, I just wouldn't feel comfortable with them. But, you know, I probably wouldn't feel comfortable with Albert Einstein because I'd be like, oh my God, I can't, what are you saying? my brain doesn't work like that. And he'd probably be looking at me like, oh, that chick is her brain doesn't work like mine, I can't talk to her. I'm totally kidding because obviously there's heart connection and all that. But you know what I mean? Everybody vibrates and has a different, just like here, we have different likes and dislikes and people that we prefer and things that we like to do. You know, I think it's really cool that people like climb ice things and jump off mountains and all that great stuff, but I'm probably not going to do that. Although I'd like to do it there. But I know that, you know, the falling part looks like a lot of fun. It's the landing part that I don't want to do. So if I can do it there and avoid the whole landing part, then I'll do it.
There you go. There you go. Carol's asking, what do we mean by afterlife? Where we go after we reincarnate again?
Afterlife meaning, to me, meaning your non-physical life. So here's my understanding of reincarnation. I don't believe that in general, there are always exceptions, that there are infinite worlds of God, infinite realms, infinite universes. So you have many lives. You have you have eternity of lives. You have different chapters in that eternal life that we call, you know, individual lives, but really it's just a chapter in your eternal life. Just like this earthly life is a chapter in your eternal life. So you incarnate in different pods, realms, groups, but I don't think that you keep coming back to Earth. I know this is my first time on Earth, and I am not coming back. Again, there are exceptions, but in general, you continue to progress. When we see these past life things, and I've seen past lives of mine, and they look like Earth, because that's what my conscious brain can understand, but it's very clear to me that it's not Earth. It just looks like that. Again, there are exceptions. And this is my understanding from what I have seen and all the people that I've worked with and all the exchanges that I've had with Source and my guides and everything. And they've affirmed that is correct. But that doesn't mean that it's not correct that it's correct for somebody else. So I'm not in any way trying to tell anybody to believe what I believe. So what I mean by afterlife, what I mean is that eternal part of us that lives always, that you have times when you go down and incarnate in different places and different things, whatever, but your eternal thing, that ongoing life that goes on forever, that never began and never started, always has been and always will be, that is that life. That your true existence of who you actually are. When we were talking earlier about that whole flame thing about, you know, us trying to, working on aligning with our true self, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this. This is the afterlife. This is the earthly life. And while we're on Earth, optimally, we work towards aligning ourselves with that. And then this earthly life falls away. We continue with this life, and then down the road, you know, there's another life comes in, or maybe you experience that. It's just the difference. Some people think that it's on Earth, and I think that it could be anywhere. The universe is infinite. So that's what I mean. And remember, the term afterlife, we use past lives, we use afterlife. Those are tenses. That assumes linear time. And we use those terms because that's what we understand here on Earth, because we are dense enough that that's how we experience things. But in reality, there is no past life and there's no afterlife because it's all at the same time. We just use those words. So it is a little confusing because we think that it happens later, but really it's right now. It's ongoing. There is no afterlife. There's no past life. You exist. Clear as mud?
Yeah, clear as mud. Well, we've got a couple more questions here.
Okay, go ahead.
Kathy wants to know if there's premarital sex.
There?
Yes, there.
Again, not as much.
And what about fetishes? Like 50 Shades.
50 Shades is more about S&M than about fetishes. To me, a fetish is like somebody who has a thing about smelling feet. I was in a bar years ago. I mean, it was when I was, much more sexier than I am now. and the waitress come over to me, or the guy? No, that was a different guy. I had so many experiences. I used to go out dancing a lot. This guy came up and asked me if he could smell my feet. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I'd have to take my shoes off. Who the heck wants to be in a bar and take their shoes off? That's gross and step on the sticky floor. So, but aside from that, what the heck is that? What do you want to smell my feet for? That, to me, that's like a fetish. It's something that you're like drawn to. Like, you'll do anything, even though it's socially unacceptable to walk up to some stranger in a bar and be like, "Can I smell your feet?" But you want it so bad that you'll do anything. You'll sneak into a restaurant and crawl on the floor and smell people. You know what I mean? You have a fetish that it's like you're really driven to do. S&M, well, you can have a fetish, but it's more about, it's an exploration of your sexuality and discovering different layers of it. So they're not necessarily exactly the same, in my opinion. But the question, okay, so do they have it there? Yes, and same as here, there are what we would call Tantra. There's that practice there as well. And Tantra is simply making love is the Tantra practice was invented or created or started, same as yoga, as a practice to connect with Source, to connect with the divine. It just so happens that it's really good for you. Yoga is really good for your body, so people do it for exercise and their physical health. But it's to connect with Source, with the divine, and Tantra is the same. And it just so happens that sex is really nice. But the ultimate purpose is to connect with Source. So it's a means of connecting with Source. I just want to grab that girl's nose. It's so cute. Okay, Layla, can I grab your nose? She's probably like, what are you kidding me? Speaking of 50 Shades, the girl, the actress that played the girl, which to me looked like nothing like the girl in the book, she's somebody's granddaughter. Darn it. I just read it somewhere. Some actress or something, that's her granddaughter.
Tippi Hedren, because that's Don Johnson and
that's right. Melanie Griffin's daughter.
daughter.
Melanie Griffin's daughter. Right, yeah. Yep.
So that's Tippi. So that would be Tippi Hedren's granddaughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So I tell you, the images of sex, making love, there are so beautiful. I can't wait. Anybody else?
I can't wait either.
Yeah. You know that if what's the song? If the house is a rockin', don't come a knockin'.
Yeah.
If the clouds are a rockin', don't come a knockin'.
Living on cloud 8, baby.
I'm gonna be on 9. I'm gonna be on cloud 9.
Oh, handsome,
Okay.
beautiful man, my key to my cloud.
Yeah, you drop it at the bar.
You go to a fetish party and you have to pick it out of the bowl.
Oh, okay. Good night, Carol. Okay, anybody else? Oh my God, we're almost at 8 o'clock. Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Time goes by when you're having fun.
Yeah. All right, well, let's wrap it up. And we'll be again on Sunday and again on Wednesday. And I hope you all enjoyed your healing and got some information that you can chew on, whether you believe it or accept it or not. It's okay. Something to chew on. And then, from there, extrapolate what you believe and what you understand.
Thank you.
And you can always and you can always post topics for discussion, for future discussion on the Facebook page. And there's the contest for the necklace. So post your topics and description of what Immersion does for you on the Facebook group Immersion with Source. Join that group and make your comments. And that every comment, every topic idea, and every description of what this does for you or has done for you, either while you're experiencing it or what happened afterwards, is also an entry. And there are 2 prizes. There are 2 different contests, so you can enter both of them.
And you want to continue this discussion?
I'm sorry?
I said if they want to, they can continue this discussion.
Yes, exactly. All right, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Next time.